We'll continue with the chapter ammonia part 2. In the first video, we learned the preparation of ammonia through the lab method. Now, once ammonia gas has been prepared, how to make it soluble in water, and that is how to make aqueous ammonia. Now, as you can see in the diagram, that ammonia gas is being dissolved in water with the help of a funnel arrangement. You can see a funnel. This is the funnel arrangement. This arrangement we had already discussed in chapter HCl. Now, since ammonia is also highly soluble in water, so it's not easy to dissolve ammonia in water through a narrow delivery tube. Now, the reason is same, because it will cause back suction. So, we don't want back suction to take place. So, for that reason, we are using funnel arrangement. So, the question that can be asked from this slide is that why funnel arrangement is used to dissolve ammonia gas in water to make ammonium hydroxide, that is aqueous ammonia. So, answer would be same, that to prevent back suction, and funnel provides a larger surface area. Now, next is our manufacture of ammonia. Manufacture of ammonia is done through Haber's process. As you can see in the diagram that there are two inlets. One is the inlet for nitrogen and the other is the inlet for hydrogen. They are taken in the ratio of 1:3 volumes. Now, nitrogen and hydrogen are made to pass through compressor. Compressor, what is the function of compressor? Compressor would be applying pressure on the gases. That is, the pressure, that the value that we want to achieve, that much atmospheric pressure will be applied. So, now both the gases, nitrogen and hydrogen, they are compressed. So, after compressor, you can see that the arrows are directing towards the catalytic chamber. Catalytic chamber, we have the catalyst, and the catalyst required for this process is finely divided iron. We would be requiring a promoter also, and the promoter is molybdenum or Al2O3. Now, after the catalytic chamber, we can see cooling chamber. That means in the catalytic chamber, ammonia gas has been prepared, and then we have to cool it. And you can see after cooling chamber, liquid ammonia is being taken out. Now, one thing I would like to make you known here, that ammonia gets liquefied first. Now, this process, that is the Haber's process, efficiency is very less. Only 15% conversion takes place. Rate of conversion is only 15%. That is, our nitrogen and hydrogen remains unreacted, and only 15% of nitrogen and hydrogen gets converted to ammonia. So, we can't afford to waste the nitrogen and hydrogen which has remained unreacted. So, what is the solution for this? Now, the uncombined gases, they are taken out from here. Now, what is the logic that has been used? The logic is that ammonia gets liquefied first in comparison to nitrogen and hydrogen. So, ammonia becomes liquid, we can take it out, but nitrogen and hydrogen, they are still in gaseous form, so they can be again sent to the compressor. Again compressed, that is, this is the recirculation pipe, it's again compressed, and after compressor, they again go to the catalytic chamber. So, this process keeps on repeating, and subsequently, the efficiency of the process becomes 85%. So, this is a little information about Haber's process. More we will be doing in detail in the coming up slides. Now, let us start the reactants of Haber's process. Nitrogen and hydrogen in the ratio of 1:3. Now, from where do we get this nitrogen? This nitrogen basically we get from air. So, air is collected, it is liquefied, and after the liquefaction, then nitrogen we get by fractional distillation. So, source of nitrogen is air, that is fractional distillation of liquid air. Now, hydrogen we get from Bosch process. So what is the reaction taking place in the catalytic chamber? The reaction taking place in the catalytic chamber is 1 volume of nitrogen reacts with 3 volumes of hydrogen to give 2 volumes of ammonia gas, and you can see heat. So this reaction is a very highly exothermic reaction, and it's reversible also, and it proceeds with decrease in volume. You can see the decrease in volume, that 1 volume of nitrogen and 3 volumes of hydrogen, so total 4 volumes of the reactants and 2 volumes of the product. So 4 volume are becoming 2 volume, that is the decrease in volume is taking place. Now what are the favorable conditions? Means if you want to get the best output by Haber's process, what are the favorable conditions required? The first favorable condition required is temperature. Temperature should not go beyond 500 degrees Celsius. What is the reason? The reason is that since it's an exothermic process, and exothermic process are always favored at low temperature. Now 500 degrees Celsius is a very low temperature for industrial purpose. For us at home it is a high temperature, but for industrial processes it's a low temperature. Now if the temperature goes beyond this, then backward reaction would be favored, because high temperature favors endothermic reactions. Now next is pressure. Pressure should be 200 atmospheres. Now why the high pressure, why this 200 atmospheres? Now you can see that in the forward direction there is a decrease in volume. So since volume and pressure are inversely related to each other, so since forward reaction is having decrease in volume, so it requires high pressure. Now catalyst required will be finely divided iron. Now why finely divided iron? Because powdered form of iron would increase the surface area. Now we have a promoter also. Now what will be the function of the promoter? The function of the promoter will be to increase the efficiency of the catalyst. So name the promoter used. It is molybdenum or Al2O3. Now you can see it has been mentioned here that rate of conversion is only 15%. So unreacted gases are made to pass through catalytic chamber again and again, and henceforth the efficiency becomes 85%. Now recovery of ammonia. Once ammonia has been prepared, then how can it be taken out from the Haber's catalytic chamber? And so it is done by liquefaction. Now it's mentioned here that ammonia is liquefied easily as compared to nitrogen and hydrogen. And after absorbing in water, because ammonia is highly soluble in water while nitrogen and hydrogen are very slightly soluble. So if you don't want to do liquefaction, we can also take help of water, knowing the fact that ammonia is highly soluble in water while nitrogen and hydrogen are slightly soluble. So what is the process? Nitrogen and hydrogen, they are dried and purified. We don't want impurities, and then they are mixed in the ratio of 1:3. Then this mixture is passed under a very high pressure. This mixture is passed in an electrically heated catalytic chamber containing finely divided iron with the promoter, that is aluminium oxide or molybdenum, and the catalytic chamber is maintained at a temperature of 500 degrees Celsius. Now ammonia that is formed, it has some residual nitrogen and hydrogen. So now this unreacted nitrogen and hydrogen has to be sent back to the catalytic chamber. So what we do, we make ammonia liquefy first, because we know ammonia liquefies first, whereas nitrogen and hydrogen do not liquefy easily. So the unchanged nitrogen and hydrogen are recirculated, and by recirculating in this manner, sometimes I was mentioning 85, I stand corrected, that the eventual yield would be 98%. So this process may become efficient 98%. Now some give reasons. First, please note down what give reason can be asked from point number 1. So the point number 1 would be asking that why in the Haber's process low temperature should be preferred. So answer would be, since the reaction is exothermic, low temperature favors the forward reaction, that is the exothermic reaction. So in practice it has been found that 450 to 500 at this temperature the efficiency is maximum. Now how much is the pressure required? Above 200. Why do we require such high pressure? So answer would be, since the 4 volumes of reactants produce 2 volumes of product, that is, in the forward reaction there is a decrease in volume. So whenever there is a decrease in volume, high pressure is required, because you know pressure and volume, they are inversely proportional to each other. So we can maintain pressure from 200 to 900 atmospheres, but practically 250 atmosphere has been found where the efficiency of the Haber's process is maximum. Now catalyst used, we have used finely divided iron, and the promoter used is molybdenum or Al2O3. And what is the function of promoter? To increase the efficiency of the catalyst. Now since the reaction is exothermic, once the reaction starts and the heat is evolved, external heating is not required. Now the internal heat that is produced would be sufficient to carry out the process. Now the purification of nitrogen and hydrogen is necessary. That is, once you supply nitrogen and hydrogen through the inlet, then before that we have to ensure that impurities are not there, because if the impurities would be there, now what are the impurities which are possible to accompany nitrogen and hydrogen, like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and H2S. We ensure that these impurities are not there, because these impurities are going to poison our catalyst, that is iron. So before we allow nitrogen and hydrogen in our Haber's chamber, these impurities, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide and H2S has to be removed. Otherwise they will spoil the efficiency of our catalyst. So these are the few give reasons which can be asked from the Haber's process. Now this is the flow sheet. We will revise dry nitrogen without impurities, dry hydrogen without impurities, and the impurities possible are carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, H2S. We have to ensure that they are removed because they will poison our catalyst. So after these two gases have been purified, they are taken in the volume of 1:3. Now 1:3, and then they are made to pass through compression pump, and here the best pressure value is 250 atmosphere. After that it goes to electrically heated catalytic chamber, where we have iron catalyst finely divided, and we have our promoter molybdenum or Al2O3, and the temperature maintained is 450 to 500 degrees Celsius. So the major reaction takes place here in this catalytic chamber. So after the ammonia formation has taken place, we know one default in this process, that the uncombined nitrogen and hydrogen would be in plentiful, because the efficiency is only 15%, rate of conversion is only 15%. So it goes through the condenser. In condenser there are 3 gases which are allowed in the condenser: nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia. Ammonia liquefies first, so it moves out, whereas the unreacted gases, nitrogen and hydrogen, they don't liquefy easily, so they are made to move back through the recirculation pipe, and it goes in the compression pump, and then the process is repeated, and finally the efficiency of the process becomes 98%. So here you can see the equation: N2 plus 3H2, reversible, 2 volumes of ammonia. This is the temperature requirement. pressure above 200 atmosphere, and the catalyst is finely divided iron, and the promoter is molybdenum. So we finished with the Haber's process. In the next video, we'll be continuing with the chapter ammonia. Thank you.